Hey, we are live, but we'll be right back. I need to do a better job of counting that down. What's up?
You do. You do. Hey, how you doing, Frank?
I started it
I'm
while
all
you were fixing your jaw on.
I'm all twisted up. Yeah, I know, but I got rid of my glare.
You you did. You did. You did. If you're here and it's 7 o'clock on a Monday, even though it is an observed holiday, as they say in the business world, uh, look at that. You have found the geek spot and the
Congratulations.
news that comes along with it. Yes, congratulations for all of your geek spot finding.
Gearing up for a busy week, but not quite there yet.
No, nope. We do have a busy night tonight, a little
Ooh,
bit.
all right.
Yeah, yeah. How was your holiday weekend?
It was good. It was quiet. Nothing crazy. I started some new stuff. Nothing super on brand per se, but I finally started Mayor of Easttown. I finally started The Flight Attendant. Digging in on some HBO Max stuff.
Flight attendant.
Watch some Disney Plus stuff. Some Bad Batch.
I hear the flight attendant's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm in so far. I'm only 2 episodes in because I'm trying to balance that and Mayor of Easttown. Neither one is short.
I'm
But
I'm
yeah,
on
watch
location.
some Bad Batch, some Loki. Everything else was canceled today. I watched Flow Rida, bringing it last night.
Flo Rida.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
to
more of a
Florida.
pit bull guy. Yeah, I'm more of a pit bull guy.
Oh well, Pitbull wasn't playing in Philly last night.
Flo Rida was actually in Philly?
Yeah, he was at the Man.
No shit.
Him and Baby Rexa and
Oh,
some somebody that won The Voice or
oh,
something. They were all doing
oh.
the Welcome to America.
Oh, that's right, the Welcome to America thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So that was exciting. I
Nice.
guess watch some fireworks and power wash some stuff, and I
Boom, boom.
think that was about it. How about you?
Well, I had a long weekend of nothing
Oh,
until Sunday. Sunday is when everything went off the road. Look, see, Castlevania. Look, Chris Charles finished Castlevania. Sorry. Matt wants to talk about family. We'll get to family in a couple minutes. Don't worry. It's in my heart. You know that. Um, Yesterday was, so you know our friend, your former drummer, my friend, Jimmy Wooten was in
oh yeah.
town. Had a little fender bender, so had no car. So
Mm,
yesterday, um, I drove down to where he lived in Pennsgrove to pick him up.
hmm.
Stopped at a campground to hang out with my friend Dan, his wife Gina. She pops in from time to time. Pete, our friend Yiramar, who pops up.
Yeah,
They went camping at a campground in Clarksboro, and then they like play board games during the day and like do the campfire.
nice.
So I stopped and played a couple board games, and then left the campground. Got a flat tire on 295.
Oh,
Changed that. Thank you, Jack. I was riffing until you got here, Jack.
look, I'm just glad Jack's here.
I was riffing until you got here. I got a flat tire, picked up Jimmy, and went to the Maziac Freedom Barbecue.
Oh, oh,
Yes.
I've not heard about this.
Yes.
I'm not part of
Um,
that elite group.
that barbecue started at 2:30, and we arrived about 10 o'clock. So we missed all of the sober people.
Oh, that sounds about the right time to get there for
Yes.
extra shenanigans.
We got there, and if you've ever stayed late at Finnegan's Wake, this is very local for the local people. Um, I got there just about the time it was 4 a.m. Jimmy Maziak.
Oh,
Yes,
that's exciting.
it
That's
was.
exciting. Was there a lot of Streisand, Springsteen, Billy Joel?
A lot of Billy Joel, a lot of
Yeah.
Bette Midler.
Oh,
Alexa was working overtime.
I'm sure.
Uh, yeah, I dipped out of there pretty quick.
Well, as
So
long as you made it, though,
I
that's what's
did.
important.
I did. What I've come to realize is that I can continue to rewatch Friday Night Lights. Why, you ask? Because Michael B.
Jordan?
Jordan is in it. He
Yeah.
was also Killmonger, so technically I'm
Yeah.
on brand.
I mean, Journey Smollett's also in it.
Real stretch.
Who was Black Canary in Birds of Prey?
And Adrian, chick that played Mockingbird. God, my names are like this.
Wow, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Adrian Pilecki?
Yep. She's in it.
Yeah, she is. She's
time.
also on the Orville.
And
she was Wonder Woman.
And Minka Kelly's in it.
Ooh, all right.
From Teen Titans.
Yeah.
So,
well, not Teen Titans, just Titans.
And technically, Taylor Kitsch was Gambit.
He was Gambit in the Wolverine movie nobody speaks of.
In the full circle of things, I'm on brand.
Or you could watch an actual show like Titans.
Titans is probably the next new show I watch. Bad Batch doesn't count. Right. The buffet will be along later, where we held the buffet, Jack, until a little bit later. It's not going to start now.
Yeah, I am intrigued to know what Charles thought of Castlevania. It's been on my list to start for multiple years now on Netflix, and I'm sure we'll talk about the new animated show done by Powerhouse Animation that did Castlevania on Netflix. They dropped a new trailer this weekend. The new show that company's doing.
Oh, that's for the space thing, right?
No.
Oh, well, I'll let you.
We'll see if we get to something about that company today.
Okay, let's see. Independence Day. Since it is the 4th of July, there's lots of Independence Day news.
Yeah, I saw a lot of quotes from that movie.
Yes,
a lot of Bill Pullman.
Number one, did you realize that Bill Pullman almost didn't play that role?
I knew that.
Yes.
I forget who was supposed to play it.
How about Kevin Spacey as a villain?
As a villain?
As a villainous type character. He can't play a good character. I mean,
he could have back then.
Yeah, maybe, but he was going to play more of a villainous role. I guess he would have played more of like the role the CIA guy did, or whatever his
as the president.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, cool, Charles. It's good to know. I'll make sure that's on my list.
Yeah. But that aside, so the Randy Quaid scene where he flies up, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen Independence Day since 1996, where he flies up and sacrifices himself to save humanity, which he probably wishes he did in real life at sometimes. They actually had to reshoot that scene 2 weeks before the movie came out.
Oh, why is that?
Well, they tested the scene the way it originally had been done in front of a test audience and only got a 91%, and they were shooting for higher. So they refilmed the scene. They had to reshoot 2 to 3 scenes. It took about 16 shots to redo. And then they ended up getting a 98% with the way they reshot it.
Well, clearly not a Warner Brothers movie because they are satisfied at 46%.
Apparently. Universal was really freaking out, apparently, about the reshoot 2 weeks before the movie's going to be released.
I'm sure. And that was with Randy Quaid, you said?
That was the Randy Quaid scene, yes.
Sure, yes. Doing anything with Randy Quaid a second time is stressful.
Yeah, I'm sure first time's pretty stressful too. Also, so this I read, this was actually really, really, really interesting. Universal resisted the casting of Will Smith. Excuse me. So, Roland Emmerich told the story that he had Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum firmly in mind. That's what he wanted as his duo.
Okay.
And the studio said, and I quote, "No, we don't like Will Smith. He's unproven. He doesn't work in international markets." The studio specifically said, "You cast a black guy in this part, you're going to kill the foreign box office." Now, at that time, that was 1996.
Yeah.
All he had really done was Bad Boys and The Fresh Prince.
And Bad Boys had just come out, right?
Right. And he did 6 Degrees of Separation, and he had a bunch of credits. But he wasn't this movie basically shot him into the stratosphere. That and Bad
You know
Boys.
what movie he turned down to do this one?
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't understand the script.
No. Can you imagine what his career would have been like if he had done The Matrix instead of Wild Wild Awful?
Well, yeah, but he did that during Matrix 2.
So, according to Matt in the chat, Will went off script in the desert saying, "What the hell is that smell?" It was the salt. That works. I
Yeah.
like finding out improv lines.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, that's pretty ballsy of Universal to say, too.
Well, but your only international star back then that was a man of color really was Denzel was sort of there,
96.
and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, yeah.
Wesley Snipes was the money guy back then.
Shannon believes that Independence Day has scientifically been proven to be the most perfect movie of all time.
I mean, it's pretty.
Definitely. It's a movie that if it comes on, I can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
Like
I was good until I saw the sequel, and now I can't watch the first one anymore.
I never watched the sequel.
Oh, it's bad.
Are you shocking? Are you shocked?
Oh, it's bad.
I heard it's pretty bad. It's not like Hot Tub Time Machine was good. Hot Tub Time Machine with 2 was pretty good too.
Yeah, no, it was bad.
Mm.
I mean, honestly, it's the only Vivica A. Fox movie that was not ruined by the fact that Vivica A. Fox was in it.
That's brutal. That's brutal. Ouch.
Name good movies she was in.
I can't name any movies she was in. Yeah, Wesley Snipes don't pay taxes though.
Yeah.
He didn't pay taxes back then. In news that I know is going to completely shock you, and I'm braced for your reaction to this. Harrison Ford injured his shoulder on the set of Indiana Jones 5 and is out of action for 3 months.
3 months? I hadn't heard that long.
3 months.
I know they're still shooting.
They're going to shoot around him at this point in time, and then I guess they'll just kind of have to go back, or maybe they'll shoot what he's not in.
Well, I heard it was a fight scene, and he threw his shoulder out throwing a punch.
It doesn't surprise me.
Because he's 78 years old.
He's brittle.
And probably shouldn't try and throw a fake actor punch because they're a little dramatic.
But he can survive the hell out of a helicopter crash.
And breaking his leg. I mean, Star Wars shut down because the Millennium Falcon attacked him.
Right.
Said, where you been all my life?
Right. You've been gone 20, 30 years. Now you're back all of a sudden. Here's a door for you. Rob Zombie is in pre-production scouting locations for his adaptation of The Munsters.
Okay. I don't know what locations you need. Do you need a house?
I'm guessing he's looking for the right house, maybe?
I'm intrigued to see if he shoots it in black and white, because for me, The Munsters in color does not work.
No, same. And there's no cast yet at all.
No, and they did it. Do you remember when they did it in color?
Yes, I do.
Oh, it was bad.
It was.
Didn't they even colorize the original once, or do like a?
They did. They did.
Yeah.
They did.
It'd be like they were with family if they went to Toretto's house.
Speaking of Toretto's house.
Oh.
You just happened to segue me right into the Fast 9 part of the little block of news I have for Fast and the Furious. Thank you, Matt. It's almost like I texted him and said, do this now. I didn't. Fast 9 will pass 500 million globally this weekend. Making it actually has now become the 5th highest grossing franchise of all time with $6.2 billion.
Wait. The 5th?
5th highest grossing of all time.
There's been 9 movies. How is it only the 5th?
Well, because the first handful of movies didn't do as well as the last handful of movies.
That's fair.
You figure there's 9 of them. The first 4 were not that good.
Yeah, well, they didn't have the rock.
You're gonna say the first. You're gonna say the last 5 weren't that good either. But.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, the Rock wasn't in them. It was just Vin Diesel.
Right.
And after the pacifier, I feel like there was a dip.
Well, there's family. If they have family, that's all they need.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is about this movie that spawned all these family memes, but it's blowing up all over the place, and I think almost every single one of them are amazing.
There's been some really good ones.
There's been some sensational ones. It passed X-Men to become the 5th highest grossing franchise. So,
Oh, yeah, X-Men's had some clunkers.
Right, but they make money still.
Yeah, but no, but they've. I think they put out 2 movies in the same time that the Fast 9 is in the last like 3.
There's some comedy gold in the chat tonight. You can't see John Cena even though they added him to the movie. There is a spin-off, Vin Diesel said, not a musical spin-off, which we're still hopeful for. They're doing a Cypher spin-off with Charlize Theron's character. That's going to be the next spin-off. See,
Okay.
they didn't fight, so he's okay with that one.
Is it Ion Flux?
I don't know. No. Nope. So I have this quick little site here that asks if this is a professor. They went to a let me see, what's this professor's name again? Let me find the professor's name. Riff for me.
Yeah. It's brutal. I wasn't prepared for riffing on Fast 9.
Anything. So they went to this professor at the University of Florida to find out if the stunts that they did in the Fast 9 movie, Costas, his last name spelled Efthimiou. I will not attempt to pronounce that. He's a physics professor at the University of Central Florida. He looked at all the stunts they did in Fast 9, and they asked him, is this possible each time? I'm going to go through these stunts. There's not a lot of them, to see if they're possible. Now, spoilers, if you haven't seen Fast 9, take like a minute and a half, 2-minute break.
Look, if somebody wanted to see Fast 9, they would have saw Fast 9 by
now. Can the cars drive over landmines as they did in the movie? Right over the landmines. The professor said, if we assume there's only 5 milliseconds for the mine to detonate, the wheel has moved inches. If that were possible, we would be able to demine landfields very easily. The Army would already know about that. So that was a hard no. Could a car clear a chasm like Vin Diesel's in Fast 9? They showed that in the trailer where he drives to the cliff.
Yeah.
The rope from the bridge somehow lodges itself into the car, and he swings like Pitfall. The professor said, cannot claim that it is not possible, but probably no.
Yeah. I'm going to guess that's the answer to a lot of these.
Yes, there's so at another point, there's a truck with giant magnets in it, and it yanks cars and stuff through buildings and then they let go, and then they keep going, and they do it again.
Yeah. Wasn't that in one of the other ones?
Probably.
I feel like that was in Fast 5, 6, 7, 8.
The professor said if you apply a force on an object, the other object applies the exact opposite force, so both of them are going to move towards each other. Because the truck they drive is not secured to anything, we should also see them move sideways. So not really. Again, no.
Yeah.
Can the Ford Fiero really fly in space? He said, I don't think that's actually possible. It's not that simple to take a car and say, okay, let's put 2 rocket boosters there. And it looks like they just had a bunch of rivets for the window. Just... those were the major stunts.
And you can't just duct tape like snack bags around your hands?
Well,
to make a spacesuit?
Well,
There's more to it?
And yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Oh, I don't like the way IMDb redid their site. Ugh. Yeah. So.
That's some exciting family news.
Well, that movie's probably going to go a little bit down in the.
It's probably a lot. It's going to drop.
With what's coming out next week,
it's going to be
gone.
Think
so.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, fam.
Bye, family. Family will always be
there. It is the highest grossing movie since Rise of Skywalker in theaters.
Yeah. Matt's right. Anything is possible when you have family, Jack. You never know. They might be Black Widow next weekend because of family.
That's what the memes. Yeah, but guess what Black Widow has in this one?
Family.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh my God. That's like that's like Inception.
I mean, are we gonna go like South LA family versus Russian mob family?
Oh, are we going? Is this movie set at Betty the Bump? Oh, sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Amazon is making a TV series out of A League of Their Own. Now they're going to do kind of a reimagining of it, where they're going to basically change the entire cast and recast everyone with new characters, new names, like the whole thing, but they're going to keep the concept of the movie. So it's going to be set in that time period with the women baseball teams.
All right.
I got some cast.
It's not going to be good.
I got some cast. In the Tom Hanks type role, Casey Dove Porter, a former Chicago Cubs pitcher, will be played by Nick Offerman from Parks and Recreation.
Yep.
He will play a happy, outgoing, charismatic character, which is completely opposite everything he's ever played.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but okay.
Right.
That also isn't that role.
No. I would read the whole cast list off, but there's a pretty large cast. They're basically just changing all the characters and making everyone different, so it's not a complete copy of the movie.
Is it going to be about the Rockford Peaches still?
The Rockford Peaches will be the team he coaches.
So yes. No Dottie.
No, it will not be. No, they won't be Dottie specifically. It'll be a character like them, most likely.
Interesting.
You could go to IMDb and look up the cast. There's a pretty decent sized cast. I would spend time reading it, but
I don't think I will.
Nah, it's not worth it.
Is there anybody else I know in it?
Nah, you might.
Anybody else from Parks and Rec in it?
No, unfortunately not.
No, I'm good.
No. Wheel of Time is
your jam.
I'm super excited. So the TV show that they've been filming will finally release this year. They put out a teaser trailer and they changed the logo of the way the logo's always been on the books, and people are complaining about that. So Wheel of Time is based on this epic fantasy novel series by Robert Jordan. The series is 15 books. Robert Jordan wrote 12 of them. The last 3 books, an author named Brandon Sanderson wrote, who is also a really good author, who's got some really good books. Robert Jordan, before he passed away, wrote the actual final chapter of the final book. So Brandon Sanderson it was supposed to be one final book, and Robert Jordan's widow basically said, here, have fun, play in the world for a little while. As long as this is the last chapter, whatever you do builds to this, go for it. And they're actually really good books. 3 or 4 of the books take place over like a 2-week period, and they're kind of pointless, but all in all, it's a really good series. Again, this is another huge cast that I'm not going to read because there's a lot of unknowns in there. Rosamund Pike is the most famous of the people that they cast for this.
Okay, I like Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, she's really good. Take it easy, Matt. Matt's going back to bed. He is a truck driver. He's heading back out on the road.
Got it. Thanks, Matt.
So that's coming. I'm guessing that's going to come sometime in the fall. They already got renewed for season 2 before season 1 even aired, so that's good. The guy that the showrunner, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he wrote for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Is it a Whedon?
Rafe Judkins.
I don't know that one. I'm looking at that cast, A League of Their Own. I know Darcy Carden. She's fantastic.
Rafe Judkins.
She was on The Good Place, but other than that, I don't know about that cast.
I don't
know how you're going to stick time period with the cast that I just looked at.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a diverse cast. So, but the Wheel of Time thing, though, I'm super looking forward to that. I'm like super excited for it. That I'll actually watch as it comes out.
Charles has a question for you about the Wheel of Time.
Yes. Wasn't the watch based off I'm not sure what the watch was.
I'm assuming he does not mean the Seth Rogen.
Yeah, no, I am not. I'm not actually sure. The watch. I'm not wearing my watch.
That I started that.
The watch?
Yeah.
Now I have to look.
The show on BBC America. I did start that. It's about a group of misfit cops who rise up decades of helplessness to save their corrupt city from catastrophe.
I don't know if it was based on it. The basis for the Wheel of Time story is there's a good guy and a bad guy, and every time the wheel turns, the good guys spit back out, and every time people die, they're spit back out in the wheel, and then they don't realize who they are. It's I'm not even going to try and explain it. It's complicated to explain, but when you read it, they explain it as you.
So I don't know if the watch was based on that. I did not watch
No.
I did not see an full episode of that. I think I recorded them all, but didn't get to. We also I didn't watch Tomorrow War yet. We have to both watch that this week.
I was going to mention that later too, a little bit, but so the reviews. If you're here and you're listening to us, don't go by the reviews that you're reading for the Tomorrow War. Watch it yourself because the reviews are terrible. Like IGN, I think gave it like a 3, but I know people that have actually watched it and said that it's like Danny, our friend Danny Nogo watched it and said it was great. Don't listen to the reviews. Watch the movie yourself.
Look, a movie can be fun and not critically acclaimed. It just needs to be fun.
This one was pretty good, they said, or at least most of the people are saying it. Lucifer season 5 dropped.
Yeah.
1.8 billion minutes of Lucifer was watched during its first week.
Seems like a lot.
Topped the Nielsen ratings, beating out Raya and the Last Dragon, and something else that I forgot to type in there.
Luca?
Maybe. I rushed through this thing this afternoon because I kind of forgot we were doing a show.
Well, it's exciting for Lucifer. I mean, it's the last season, I think, right?
I think so. That's one I want to go back and watch because I've actually heard that's really good too.
Well, and it's got your boy Tom Welling on it.
Yeah, but he's only. Oh yeah, that's right. He does go in it for a couple of seasons.
He's on the last few seasons, and Trisha Helfer is on the whole thing.
Oh, I love her. She's. Awesome.
You got some Battlestar. You get some Smallville.
We should definitely do a Battlestar rewatch.
It's a lot of wins in there. I think is the guy from Lost. No, he played the angel in Constantine, not in Lucifer.
Okay. Downton Abbey 2 coming to theaters.
You love this movie.
It was delayed.
Oh no!
From December to March.
It was too hard to keep them all in the same house to film.
Guess it maybe, I don't know. And here's another show that I didn't watch. I don't know if you watched. Did you watch Lovecraft Country?
I did. Country.
Canceled. No season 2.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, and
I talked about it on the show, the Lovecraft, when I watched it.
I remember now.
Great show. Really well done. Ending was not great.
Well, no, because I think they thought, and from what I was reading, the cast blocked off time to do a second season.
But it would have been an anthology. Like it would have been.
Gotcha.
It would have been standalone. I don't think that you could bring that cast into a second one.
Gotcha.
Because you would have had Miracle Workers is I think something that would be similar to that, whereas Steve Buscemi and Daniel Radcliffe, where you have every season is a different story. Like
American Horror Story?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it looks similar to that would be the way to do that show and take some different H.P. Lovecraft stuff. But I mean, that's disappointing. She wants to write it as a book or come out that way.
Right. Another show that I know you watched, Manifest.
Yeah.
So the creator of that show is actually trying to make a 2-hour movie to tie it all up.
Yeah, I hope Netflix or NBC picks that up.
That's the only thing is he said nobody's picked it up yet, and he had originally planned out 6 seasons in his head. At least.
Yeah, he's even said he would think about writing a novel for it. Except for that's a whole nother beast. Which I'm like, I would think writing a book would be easier than filming a TV show. Because then you don't have to write it and then scout it and then film it. You just have to write it.
Yeah, but
as the interview I just listened to with Quentin Tarantino yesterday, because he just released his first book.
Oh, really?
And he was like, it's amazing. I just have to write this. I don't have to write it and then spend another year and a half working on it. So I'm just done.
Is he going to do his 10th movie or is he going to not do his 10th
He might. Well, he just had a kid. It was a good interview with him. He talked about, having a new baby and I mean, he's 58 and has like a 16-month-old.
There you go. Go.
Yeah. But so now he's just about doing that.
Wow. I mean, if they release a 2-hour movie to tie up Manifest, I'll go back and watch that at some point. But I'm not watching that and be left with all questions like, what
It's
happened?
imagine if Lost got canceled in like season 3.
It would have been better off.
Yeah, but you would have been like,
No, I'm
is
not.
it better to not know how it was supposed to end, or to just have a
Yeah,
crappy ending? That's the decision, right?
yeah, I guess.
Charles, I think we're going to touch on at least one of those things.
Definitely.
Don't worry.
Definitely. It will not be Good Omens season 2, which is coming out.
Season 1 was fantastic.
That's not the one I'm going to mention.
That's one that you should go back and watch. Season 1 was great.
I'll put it on my list.
David Tennant, Michael Sheen, fantastic.
Put it on my
They
list.
did some good quarantine stuff too, based on those characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For any of you people out there watching that are interested in writing movies, during the writing of the Terminator 2 movie, James Cameron was high on ecstasy. That's how he came up with the hook for Edward Furlong's John Connor character. He was high
needs
on
to
ecstasy,
take more.
listening to a Sting song, and that's where he came up with the whole nuclear world war ending event.
I think I know what song.
I don't know the name of the song, but he did quote a lyric from it.
It's probably from Green Turtle.
Hold on, I'll tell you. I'll give you the line of the song. I don't know why I didn't grab the line of the song.
Yeah,
the line of the song is, "I hope the Russians love their children too."
Yeah, it's from Flight of the Green Turtle. They did the Bring on the Night movie.
Yep.
I forget the name of the song. This whole album's fantastic.
Mm.
Sting had like one of the most monster backing bands of all time.
Was this before the mandolin?
Yes, this was his first solo album after the Police.
Oh, okay.
The album is legit from end to end phenomenal.
Oh, cool.
And the documentary movie about the making of it is also fantastic, called Bring on the Night.
That sounds familiar.
You've probably seen it. It was an HBO mainstay for like 20 years. They played it all the time.
Gotcha. There's a movie, I'm pretty sure we touched on this last week, but I'm just throwing it out there again. October 21st, 2021, The Many Saints of Newark.
They dropped a trailer.
Trailer was an awesome little thing. I thought James Gandolfini's son looks exactly like him. Like, he's a spitting image of him.
Yeah.
And the fact that they put Ray Liotta in it as an old man mobster is just awesome to me, because what else is he going to do?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I like The Sopranos, but I mean, it's been 15 years since I watched it.
I could rewatch that tomorrow.
I have no doubt.
A problem.
You're a rewatcher.
I am. And before I move into the Star Wars section of the world here, what Charles was the other thing that Charles was mentioned in the chat, if you're not able to read it, is Masters of the Universe. The Kevin Smith written series.
Well, he was one of the writers, showrunner.
Kevin Smith show-run series, Masters of the Universe, which we've mentioned a handful of times. That drops in 15 days from today. That would be July 23rd.
I think so.
2021. They did release another trailer for it.
That'd be the 20th. But
now that I know a little bit more about the story of it, I'm a little bit more interested in it.
Oh, that's the opposite of me.
Yeah, see, I'm more interested in finding out what happened to it.
Unless I saw a lot of Tila in the story trailer and a lot of Prince Adam.
Yes.
Not a lot of He-Man.
You have to build the He-Man, and that's true. Hi, Jimmy. Jimmy's car still won't be fixed from his little dust up.
That's good. We'll make sure that he has Netflix on his phone that he can watch it.
Well, he's home.
I know.
His car will be done on the 27th.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Star Wars stuff.
Ooh.
The Rogue Squadron script is just about complete, Patty Jenkins says.
Yeah, who's writing it with her? I saw they announced the writer.
You son of a bitch.
You're doing a great job at
pre-show
work.
Grab the other guy. You could do this. You could do that part if you want.
No. I was busy. I was practicing. I was learning stuff.
For what?
For the next time I play.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember what it was, but I'm sure I was learning something.
Who is the person writing the script with her? Matthew Robinson from Love and Monsters.
Oh, all right.
He's the mystery writer. It is scheduled for a December 2023 release. There has been no casting yet, and they have not said where in the Star Wars timeline this takes place yet.
Oh, dear Lord, that's 2.5 years away. That's fine. There's
Yeah.
plenty of time to screw up Star Wars between now and then.
Are there any Star Wars movies coming out between then, or is it mostly TV shows?
I don't. Are they going to take a 5-year hiatus?
That's what they said originally, didn't they? They said
A
they were
4-year
stepping back
hiatus?
from the movies.
I mean, that's a lot of Avatar we're going to have to sit through.
Well, or there's going to be a lot of that new anime anthology, Star Wars Visions. Did you see that?
I heard. I did not watch. They have the teaser trailer, right, on Disney Plus came out.
It looks interesting. So what they're going to do is they're going to take this and it's going to exist outside of the current canon to give the people there, the storytellers, more creative freedom to kind of go and do what they want. And what that means that the Star Wars toxic fandom is going to hate it more because their fandom is one of the most toxic fandoms ever.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you say it's outside, though, as long as you don't then start to pepper it in, you should be okay.
Yeah, but we'll see what they do.
Like they did with the Legends? Yeah.
Right. Which is
where they're like, oh, that was a really good idea. We're going to bring that in now.
Mm-hmm. Mandalorian stuntman Brendan Wayne. He's the guy that's actually in the Mandalorian costume way more than Pedro Pascal is. He said that the Book of Boba Fett is going to be a grittier show thanks to Robert Rodriguez and all the episodes he directed.
Not a surprise. And he's the showrunner.
Yes. Robert Rodriguez was quoted as saying, Boba Fett is all killer, no filler. Don't expect the warm and fuzzy adorable moments on this show. Which that actually gives me more hope that this is going to... I mean, it was always going to be good. You know that. But...
yeah, that makes me think, should they put it out on Hulu instead of Disney Plus?
They won't.
No,
they won't, because
I guess as long as you don't have gore, you're fine.
Right. I mean, what's next after Loki, Marvel wise? Like, what do you have to watch?
What If, and then Hawkeye?
Right, and Hawkeye.
I mean, you get Black Widow.
Right, for $30 extra.
Yeah, I already have my tickets though, so that's fine.
Yep, we'll get to that in a little bit. Also.
And then you have, I'll spend $150 going to the movies because I'm going to go and then I'm going to take the kids. So, $30 actually sounds like a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to have, What If?
What If?
Then we'll have Shang-Chi.
Yeah, but there's no TV show. I mean, obviously the TV show is going to be,
What If?
What If? Yeah.
And then we'll have Hawkeye.
And then Hawkeye probably fall.
And then Eternals. And it's okay to have to go back and forth. Yeah. I think they're going to buy some time for Black Widow and give it some time to breathe in the theater.
It wouldn't be a surprise. It's not a bad thing. Over in the DC universe, The Rock has confirmed that Black Adam is in the final week of shooting. That feels really fast.
It does.
It feels really fast.
Well, it's been, what, two months?
Yes.
Oh, look, my mom says hi. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look, if it's a DC movie, it's probably real light on story and
he's
heavy on CGI.
He's rumored to cameo in Shazam. Then again, so is Henry Cavill.
Yeah, whatever.
Batwoman. Season 3 is reportedly casting DC hero Renee Montoya. And all I have after that is Jack.
So, well, she was in Gotham.
She was in Gotham. I knew that name sounded familiar.
She's been in a few. She was also in Birds of Prey, played by Rosie Perez.
Mm-hmm.
She took over as the Question when they did the New 52. So her role is in the New 52 was as a detective that was a former love interest of Kate Kane. They played in, and she all drinking problems, yada yada yada. Broken character. That then I always thought was going to be more like they were going to pull Sophie into that role. That would have made more sense to me. But if they're casting her, I don't know if they'll do the Question because they keep having issues with that particular IP. So
Gotcha.
because Renee Montoya was created later as a character, not as the Question per se, they use that character a lot, but they don't bring in her comic book persona
Gotcha.
because the Question is one of the characters that was owned by Charlatan Comics along with Blue Beetle, and there's a lot of question marks around the rights to those. Yeah. Yeah. But there's a lot of they're not sure how to do the rights to those. So it'd be great if they bring that character in because it's a super cool character. And the Vic Sage was the original one. And there's Kevin Smith's been trying to make a Question movie for 20 plus years.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's a fascinating character.
Gotcha. Jesse L. Martin.
Yeah.
Danielle Panabaker.
Yeah.
And Candice Patton all signed on officially for season 8 of The Flash.
Yep, it's disappointing.
Now, I was reading from our favorite rumor site.
Well, I'm sure you're caught up on The Flash, right? Because it's still airing new episodes every week.
What?
Yeah.
Are they?
That's what I thought. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Look, man, I haven't even finished the Blacklist yet, okay?
Yep.
Give me a break.
Yep, we're closing on the finale.
So, according to our favorite rumor site, the one that we text each other constantly back and forth and then also make fun of each other for reading it.
Yep.
Grant Gustin is not really thrilled about the season 8 and is trying to get out of doing anything further, but because the Flash still pulls in the highest numbers for the WBCW, whatever the hell it is, they're trying to grab him for longer. They don't want to let him go yet.
He's not thrilled with season 8 or season 7?
He's not filled with they're on season 7 now, right?
Yes.
He's not thrilled that I think he regrets signing on for 8 is what.
Well, 7's been horrible.
Yeah, so I've heard, which is not an incentive for me to watch it.
I feel better about how they're going to get to the end.
Right.
How they're going to sprint to the end.
You think?
And I've been, still working my way through the Flash comic book series since '84.
Right.
So I've been in the Barry Allen stretch for a little while. I went through the New 52. I'm now firmly embedded in the Rebirth era. I think I'm caught up to like 2018 right now. But I finally got to where they introduced the Godspeed character, who is the second half villain this season of The Flash.
Right.
So I'm intrigued to see how they pull that back in and explain that character. But I do still have so many issues compared to the way they wrote the comic book for this show.
Do you think season 8 ends The Flash? Do you
God,
think
I hope so. There's so much storytelling to the Flash that they ruined by choices they made early on. That it makes it really tough for them to keep driving the show the way they are. A lot of that has to do with them having, one of being like real people.
Right.
Right. So when you have to have Barry Allen because Grant Gustin's the name on the marquee, even though I don't think it matters if it's Grant Gustin or somebody else.
Right.
As long as it's not Kenyon Lonsdale because he was horrible. But I mean, some of the best dynamics in the Flash comic in the last 40 years, from what I've been reading, are based on the relationship that Flash has with his mentees. So like with Wally West, right? Which they totally screwed up the version of Wally West on this show by making it basically Barry's brother.
Right.
Not nephew, and like raise and go through the Kid Flash era. Like we could have time jumped once or twice and had him coming up instead of being his sister wife's brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which that screwed up the whole Love for the Ages because they were brother and sister grown. Like there's so many storylines that they just screwed up by trying to, rewrite all of the history to it that it makes it tough for them to keep going with good storylines now.
Oof.
Like that's how you explain it to somebody. Oh, you don't watch The Flash? This guy's in love with his sister for his whole life and finally talks her into marrying him. And then they have a bunch of kids and their dad's super cool with it. Does that make the show not sound as good?
No.
No,
it does not help.
No.
Doesn't help.
And he runs to love.
He does run to love. God, he runs to his.
Yeah. I just ruined the whole
Smallville.
show for everybody.
You did. You rooted for me. You remember Smallville, right? You watched all 10
I
seasons.
just did not long ago during the pandemic. That's how I started the pandemic.
And one of the characters in that, Chloe Sullivan, was played by Allison Mack.
Yeah.
Allison
She's
Mack,
had some trouble.
She just got her sentence. So she was sentenced to 3 years, $20,000, and 1,000 hours of community service in her role in the Nixium cult case.
Right.
So she pled guilty to racketeering and conspiracy. Now, the cult leader, Keith Rainier, has been sentenced to 120 years for his role. I am assuming that
that's longer.
A little bit longer, probably a little more community service for him. I'm assuming that she turned over and flipped and
yeah, she did. If it's 3 years, she'll probably be out in a year.
Right.
Year and a half.
Well, so they're not doing like time served, like, hey, you've been in house arrest for the last 2 years.
Right.
She doesn't even start this until September. So after court, she goes back home. Then in September, she goes to wherever they want to send her.
All right, but we'll see how season 2 does on HBO to determine, how long she stays in prison.
That's true. I haven't finished season 1 yet.
There was also a season on Stars.
Yeah, I want to watch that because I'm interested.
I heard that one was better than the HBO one.
And it's funny because it's not funny. It's sad because the character that they created in Smallville was a character that they created specifically for her that transferred over into the comics and in a Supergirl, and it's one of those. Well, they've used the character's name in Supergirl.
Did they?
Oh yeah, yeah. In one of the flashbacks when they went home, their friend from home, Chloe Sullivan, they've dropped her name at least a half dozen times over the course of the show.
Huh.
Shows how much you pay attention to Supergirl.
I hadn't watched Smallville yet, so I didn't get it.
Gotcha.
And now I try and block out Supergirl.
Right.
How you caught up on? You good? Caught up on that too?
We're going to Marvel now.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't answer that question.
Yep, that's what I
thought. Black Widow, as we had mentioned
yeah.
before. You got your ticket? Let me see where I'm going. Hold on. I want to make sure I know when I'm going.
It's about family.
It is about family. I'm trying to stay away from there's a review that's already certified fresh and
yeah, the critics viewings were like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's some bullshit. Because if I hear anything, where's my ticket stub? Here it is. Thursday, July 8th at 5 o'clock. That's right. I'm going Thursday. Holy shit.
Early.
I didn't realize I was going Thursday. Yes. And I'm seeing it normal. I'm not doing the IMAX and all that other crap.
Yeah.
Not this time. No.
I think I'm 8 or 9.
On Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Then we can talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
So you're probably asking, well, what movies do I need to watch from the Marvel Universe to be caught up on Black Widow or to understand Black Widow?
I'm going to
tell you.
You had a quarantine. You should be caught up.
You should, but I'm going to tell you what movies specifically.
All right, I can think. Let me.
Go ahead. You start at the beginning and see if you can walk up with me.
I'm going to take a swipe and see if I can do it. It should be Iron Man 2.
Correct.
It should be Avengers.
Correct.
Should be Winter Soldier.
Correct.
Should be Civil War.
Correct.
Should be the other 2 Avengers movies, Endgame, Infinity War. Correct. Infinity War and Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be it.
You're only missing 2.
I'm still missing 2 that I need for the Black Widow movie?
Age of Ultron. They're basically
Avengers. Yeah, all the Avengers movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have Iron Man 2, yes. Captain America, the First Avenger. So I'm assuming there's going to be some tie-ins to that movie somehow. I mean, she was in it.
No, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't. I'm thinking of the Winter Soldier.
I'm wondering if we get
flashback.
Baron Zola.
Maybe.
Because he was in Winter Soldier for a second.
Yeah. But yeah, the only one you missed was the Captain America one.
Maybe it's because you need First Avenger for Winter Soldier to make sense.
Maybe.
Fully.
Maybe, yeah. I'm excited to see it, finally, after 3 years.
Or is she in an end credit for Cap? No.
No.
She's not, right?
Yeah. No. One of your favorite actresses has left her YouTube channel. Brie Larson has said she is taking a step back from her YouTube channel.
No more yoga and acoustic guitar.
She's going to focus on acting again, which means we're about to start filming Captain Marvel 2, buddy.
Ooh,
Strap
the
in.
Marvels.
Strap in.
Can't wait for it to be over.
You know she's going to be a Jedi, right? You know it's going to happen.
No.
You know she's going to be a Jedi.
No.
She's going to be a Jedi. She wants to be the most powerful Jedi ever.
Are we going with Sebastian Stan though?
For what?
Well, if she's going to be Mara Jade, they're going to have to cast Luke again.
Oh, well, yeah.
Right? Or is she part of the Visions where they just do a one-off on her?
I would be fine with that.
Yeah, the less I have to see her actually act in one of these roles. She's fine in the dramatic Oscar type stuff.
Right.
Great. But in the campy sci-fi stuff, she doesn't have the natural flow to pull it off right.
I get it. Kevin Feige has said that despite the rumors that are starting to ramp up, there is no announcement coming on the Fantastic Four casting at all.
It's fine.
It's not coming anytime soon. Do you believe him?
Do you? Let me think. So hold on. So no, because they'll have to start filming that like next summer.
Right. So do you think he? Obviously, you know he's probably had his short list all along for this.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to go the way the fans are hoping with the John Krasinski, Emily Blunt?
I don't.
Or maybe one of them. You think you get maybe John Krasinski?
No, I think it's both or neither for that. I think as much as he would like to play a comic character, I think they do A Quiet Place 3 so they can make their money because they got screwed out of a lot of money on Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, I heard that too. What about Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine? That's popping up a lot. Most of that stupid fan art, and
I don't think he has the chops.
Stupid. Neither do I. Plus, fan art's stupid anyway.
I mean, I like Daniel Radcliffe, but he'd have to get ripped.
Yeah,
and he's not. He's too lean.
Yeah,
and I mean, same thing. Hugh Jackman's too lean too. But I feel like DC Marvel will skew closer to. I think Zac Efron's your best bet.
He's too old now, isn't he?
Wolverine's
too tall.
He's not too tall. Well, Zac Efron's short. That's why he's
okay.
That's why he fits into it. And age-wise, no, Logan's 200, 150, 200 years old when we meet him.
That's true.
In the 70s. So no, he's fine.
That's true.
I think your trick with casting age-wise with that is the same problem you ran into with Hugh Jackman. How long can you expect somebody to get into that shape? And a character like Wolverine, you're going to want to be your next Iron Man-ish, where you need to hold on to him for a minimum of 12 years.
Yep. I agree with that. Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Christopher McDonald has a secret role in Secret Invasion. Christopher McDonald, for those of you that don't remember or know him by name, Shooter McGavin.
He was just in Hacks. Fantastic in Hacks. He's also not young.
No. So there's a lot of rumor saying that he's going to play Norman Osborn. And this is where we're going to get the introduction of Norman Osborn. He's not saying yes or no. He's not leading people to believe he is, but he's also not leading them to believe he's not. He's just kind of tight-lipped about it.
I don't know if you cast somebody in their 70s as Norman Osborn.
How long do you want to run Norman Osborn out there? Is it going to be? Are you going to do it like you did the last Spider-Man movie?
I don't know if at this point you even introduce him with Tom Holland.
It depends on how much longer Tom Holland's going to play the role.
Right.
Too.
I mean that's where it's right because you let's say he meets Harry in college.
Right.
Do you want an 80-year-old Norman Osborn?
No, then that wouldn't line up age-wise.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So you need because Michael Keaton's even borderline to play the right age for Vulture. Vulture was supposed to be an old guy, but Michael Keaton's a little old to be playing the high school sophomore's dad.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be playing that role anymore.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Maybe he already did.
Maybe. James Gunn has said on Twitter, this isn't a bad thing. James Gunn has said on Twitter that he doesn't consider any Marvel shows before WandaVision as canon.
I don't
And
think nobody does.
and he said, and somebody said, well, what about Agents of Shield? What about Peggy? What about Agent Carter? And he said they didn't line up with the studio. They didn't work with
No,
the
that was
studio to
Marvel.
do
That was
this.
Jeff Loeb was running that.
It's under the Marvel umbrella, but it's not. It's like over here.
No, that was there was Marvel TV and Marvel Studios. It was two
Right.
different companies at that point.
Unfortunate for us, that's the case, because I would like to see that be canon.
Well, yeah, but Agents of Shield got when they realized they weren't canon, they just went whoosh.
And it got better.
It
Got
did,
better.
but you couldn't pull that back over to canon because like they had 3 seasons where Nick Fury didn't exist and Shield didn't exist, but Shield was still around.
Right.
Because they introduced bringing Nick back at the end of season 3.
Right.
When they were building the helicarriers for him.
Right.
And then they just forgot.
Yeah. Well, they just
and they went to space, and then it was all downhill from when. I think here's what I really think with that, because the first 3 seasons I do think are canon,
right?
Because they did have crossover, right? But once they go to space, they are now in a divergent timeline.
Well, yeah, and then they fixed that themselves because they put themselves in a different timeline.
But no, but they never, right? And so they never fixed it from then when they went to the future.
Makes
so
sense.
Ever since then, they're in one of those Nexus events.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Nexus events. Couldn't have done that any better. We are going to move into Loki territory. So if you have not seen episode 4 of Loki,
and we'll count down,
you're gonna go, because when I change my background, there's 100,000% spoiler now. Like I went all in with the spoiler for Loki. It's time to go talk Loki. So come back in a little while if you haven't seen it. It's spoiler time.
It is. I can see two fourths of the spoilers.
There you go.
I can see them all.
There you go. First thing, what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was about time that we had an exciting one. I think that the tough part for me, even through the first half of this episode, was like, I don't care what happens to either one of them. Like, because Loki's already dead.
Right.
So it's tough for me to be like, oh no, poor Loki. Loki's an evil creature. Like, he's not good. Mm-hmm. There's no reason for me to Tom Hiddleston is incredibly charismatic, but I have like zero love for the character of Loki. So it's tough for me to be like, oh, I hope he's okay. I hope he gets another chance to come and kill the Earth. Like, no. But I thought it was interesting how they tied it in. I think I see where they're going. And I wished that the mid-credit scene hadn't happened and that was the end of it. And then we moved into a different direction. I was psyched where it ended. Yeah, I was psyched where it ended before that. I was like, oh, that's a twist I didn't see coming. They got rid of Hiddleston. Awesome.
Right. I thought it was really good. I am the other side of the coin where I really like the character and I want him to survive. I'm totally all in invested in him. So if you didn't see it, when the episode
you should have already stopped listening.
Right. Oh, absolutely. You should have stopped with that. So the episode starts and they're still stranded and Mobius is looking for them. So I'm not going to go through the whole episode. I'll touch on little pieces of it. When they held hands, when Loki and Sylvie held hands, that's when that Nexus event started. And it was a big freaking Nexus event, right?
It was super creepy, by the way.
It is,
like,
and it is.
You got skeeved out me talking about Barry and Iris earlier. This is way worse.
But it's not him in love with himself, because it's technically not him. She's a whole person.
But it is.
Because they showed them going back and taking Sylvie when she was a little girl in Asgard.
But she's Loki.
But she's not Loki. She's Sylvie.
But no. This would be like the White Vision and the Red Vision getting it on.
Yeah, maybe, but they're androids. That's okay. So, well, all right. Let's go with that. So what do you think caused the Nexus event? Was it them falling in love? Was it him loving her? Was it like a two-way street?
I'm sure Loki's gonna run to love. And it's the fact that Loki actually cares for something now caused a major Nexus event.
Okay.
And that he's developing feelings for something greater than himself.
Okay. So they get taken in the elevator up to. Wait, did I skip over the other part first?
No, Mobius comes and gets them. They hop through the door.
Right. And then, well, they separate them, and then we get our first big cameo. Right. This is the first big cameo for Loki when he's sent to his time prison.
Right.
And
no, well, before that, before he goes to the time prison, isn't Mobius talking to Ravonna?
Mobius talks to Ravonna. Actually, I don't. It was a week ago, and I probably
and he starts to realize that things are going on. So while they're sitting there talking, he's starting to get the feeling of like, why won't you let me talk to Sylvie? Why, and he swaps scanners.
Yeah, he swaps the little doohickeys.
The time jumper things.
Right. And then he's walking Loki back to his little prison, and he's giving Loki all kinds of shit, and he's like he says some really messed up stuff to Loki, where he's like waiting for Loki to give him a quip, and he's like Loki wasn't having it.
No, because Loki's in love.
Right. So before he pushes Loki into his little time prison, Loki tells him, "You're a variant.
Right.
You're not. This is all fake. You're a variant. Your brain was erased and your memories are gone and you're a variant." And then he pushes him into his little time
The second
prison.
time.
Right.
That was in between.
Yeah. But the time prison is a scene that we never got in the movies where Loki apparently cut, and I guess this is from the comics.
It's when they were younger.
Of it.
Yeah, when they were younger is what
Loki cuts Lady Sif's hair, and in this scene, Jamie Alexander shows up as Lady Sif, and she walks in all angry, gets mad at him, tells him he's going to be alone forever, kicks him in the balls, and walks off. Right. And that scene continues to repeat itself in different ways.
This makes up for her not being a Ragnarok.
Right. She also teased that you might be seeing Lady Sif again in the near future, teasing a Love and Thunder appearance.
We didn't see her again. We didn't see her.
No.
Then we have Sylvie, right, who's in her, and nobody's going in and talking to her except for.
Was it M15 or B15?
One of them.
Yeah. It's the other guard. It's the other big burly guard.
Right. Who I had a feeling, because she was from Lovecraft Country, that she was going to have a bigger role, because she was amazing on that show.
Really?
Yeah, she was great. Like Emmy-worthy performance she had on that show, hands down. And she goes in and she starts to keep seeing things,
right?
Because she'd been possessed before. And then she goes and Sylvie takes her away. She frees Sylvie, and Sylvie gives her memories back.
Yeah, did she ask Sylvie to show me or whatever?
Yeah, Well, when Sylvie inhabited her, she saw some of her memories and was like, "What was that?"
Right.
And then Sylvie gives her all her memories back.
Mm-hmm. At what point does the Mobius thing happen again?
So then then Mobius goes back to Loki.
Right.
After the variant thing, because then he goes and starts trying to figure things out. And goes back, and that's when Ravonna and the guards pop in when Mobius is trying to free Loki.
Right. And then she basically does to him what Loki did to Coulson.
Yep.
She comes up behind him and sticks him with the staff and prunes him. Now.
No, not even behind him, just right in front. No, you're talking about later.
Oh.
No, Mobius, she sends the guards, and the guards just disintegrate him while she's there.
That's right. It's the guards that do that.
And then she takes Loki.
Right. So before we go further, do you think that's it for Mobius? Or do you think we get more of him? There's only 2 episodes left.
Well, we still haven't. I think we'll see where the variant came from.
Okay. So.
On a boat. On a jet ski,
On a jet ski. So Ravonna takes Loki and Sylvie now, who finally come back together to the gold elevator to go up and see the time.
For some reason. Which doesn't make sense since Ravonna knows who the timekeepers are.
Right.
or
So
who the timekeeper is,
so
whatever we say.
so we get to the timekeeper's chambers, and there's the 3 timekeepers sitting,
Right.
and you know, not Sam Wilson, I'm sorry,
Wow.
Bucky Barnes is right. Bucky Barnes was right. No, Sam Wilson was right. I'm sorry, I was right in what I was saying. Sam Wilson was right. It's aliens, androids, or wizards. It's one of the 3. One of the 3. So here we get the fight, and it turns out that the 3 timekeepers, who I have to go back and watch because I couldn't understand a goddamn word that they said the entire time.
I think I had closed captioning on.
I have to put closed. Was it worth it, or is it
No.
like
They
okay?
didn't say anything.
Okay, so it turns out the 3 timekeepers in this room are androids. They're not real
Right.
because they cut one head off, and it's a robot. Right?
Yeah.
So then they have a big fight. Right.
Which is great. Great choreographed fight scene. Good good stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that's when she comes up behind Loki.
When Loki's getting ready to make out with himself. I mean Sylvie. And then Ravonna comes up behind him and tags him, and he disintegrates.
He disintegrates.
Right.
Right in front of Sylvie, who's mortified, and as the rest of the audience
And didn't seem to know what Loki wanted to do.
No.
Because she's like, why would I make out with myself? Ew, that's icky.
Right, but it wasn't making out with her. But anyway.
Anyway.
So Loki's gone.
Right, and Ravonna says, I'm going to tell you everything.
Right.
Right.
Because there's more fight, and Sylvie gets her flips her upside, and has the sword to her, or not the sword, but the little pruny thing.
Right, dagger.
Says, tell me everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Which, yeah. So what do you think is going to happen there? I have an idea.
Honestly, for the first time ever, I have no freaking clue. I think I know what the places that they're at, that the spoiler scene behind me is. But are you talking about before we go to that thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that I have no idea. I want to hear what you think.
Well,
I didn't read up theories. I stayed away.
Well, so Ravonna is a character from the comics who's Kang's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
She's tied to Kang. So I have a feeling it's going to turn out it's been Kang manipulating time this whole time. And he's been causing not just these, but all of these other events that have occurred to everybody in the MCU have been masterminded by him. Right, and then we'll see that play out over the course of the rest of Phase 4. But I think with that, you have... that's why the casting was announced for him
so early.
So early, because Quantumania hasn't even filmed yet.
No.
So, like, they announced the casting for that a year early while they were filming Loki.
Right. Little weird.
Yeah, so I think that's where this is going to go. And I don't know if he'll be introduced next episode, and obviously I don't think he's going to get beaten.
Well, no, he can't get beaten at this point. You don't want to...
Or do you have him win, and that's what sets him up, and you use it as the same bad trope they use with Thanos, where he kills Loki. Oh, no. And that makes sure he's a really bad guy, because he killed Loki and Loki's girlfriend, who's also Loki.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So
that's my guess.
The end credit scene comes up. I like your guess. I stayed away from looking at spoilers, so I have no idea, but that makes the most sense knowing that she's his girlfriend. You're going to have to see him at some point in the next 2 episodes, even if it's an end credit teaser at the end of episode 6.
Right.
You have to see him at some point. So this series is going to pay off with the monster cameo where WandaVision's. I'm still waiting to find out who the engineer is.
Right.
Maybe the engineer was Kang.
We met the engineer again.
No, the engineer could be Kang.
We still met the engineer.
But it might be Kang.
It was just that random chick that brought the rover.
Damn it. So at the end credits, Loki wakes up. There's a bunch of memes for this too that's actually pretty good. A lot of these are good. The Samuel L. Jackson one was pretty good.
I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I'll send you some later. Loki wakes up, and this is what Loki sees. He sees Thor Loki, right? He
Yeah.
sees the kid
Kid
in the
Loki.
alligator Loki.
Well, Kid Loki, Alligator Loki. They're both Lokis.
Right. And
Yep.
Richard E. Grant Loki,
Yeah.
which is OG Comics Loki.
Yeah. Full costume and everything.
Yeah, which is amazing. Like, amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
This I did read a little bit about. And what you can't see in this picture is there's actually over here, next to Old Man Loki, is a ruined Avengers Tower.
Mm.
So the theory on this one is, and this I did look up, is that this is like Sakaar junk world.
Gotcha.
That everything they prune is going here.
Right.
All
the variants.
All the variants. You might find Mobius here.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see where they go with this.
Me too.
Like I said, I was more intrigued with all right, cool, Loki's dead. Long live Lady Loki. Let's see what's going on.
Nope. No, he's not dead. So that's even more. That lends even more to the TVA's been lying all along.
Right.
Now, it wasn't Kid Loki, if I recall, and I'm sure you'll be able to steer me on this. Wasn't he in the Young Avengers? That it looks like
I think he was affiliated with them. Yeah.
And he was a Young Avenger for a while until regular Loki came and like kind of took over again.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and so is Young Kang.
Right. Right.
As Iron Lad.
Right. Right.
And the Maximoff twins.
So the Lokis are Old Loki, Kid Loki, Boastful Loki, and Alligator Loki. Boastful Loki is the Thor-looking Loki.
And I mean, you don't cast Richard Grant without.
No, he's not going to be a one-off. Yeah, he's going to be a one-off.
So I'm intrigued to see what they have that actor do.
Before I get to the Easter eggs, back in the TVA room when they're looking for the Nexus people, when they're looking for Sylvie and Loki, Mobius vocally expressed his exasperation on dealing with the variants, casually mentioning that they have dealt with Krees, vampires, and Titans. But this is the most chaotic mission so far.
Right.
They ask the showrunner his response on mentioning vampires in that episode. And his response was, I would have to say you'd have to ask Kevin Feige. That's something with Marvel for sure. So there's a little.
But there's a Blade movie coming out.
But there's more. There's going to be more.
There's also a Morbius movie coming out. Did
you see the theory that Miss Minute is the actual villain of this whole series?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
If we get a live action Tara Strong, I'd be sold.
Right. So the Easter eggs, real fast. There's the return to Asgard. There's the little toys that she was playing with are Valkyrie and Fenris. Okay. There was A23, which was Ravonna Renslayer's tag, which should be that was her first appearance in Avengers 23. So that's a little, and it was B15. That's what it was.
Got it.
Morag was shown where they were looking for Loki and the list of things that popped up. Planet Morag. Loki's losing streak and knack of cheating death. Because they said Loki's always lose. They seem to lose a lot.
Yeah.
What else we have? Jamie Alexander's Lady Sif. Time Theater 47. The 47 could potentially allude to Marvel's What If number 47, released in 1984. This is a story about what would happen if Loki had taken Thor's hammer.
Sure.
Stretch, maybe. Loki's Thanos partnership. When Mobius snaps back at him in their little jawing back and forth, and he says, I guess you don't do partners unless, of course, it benefits you and you intend to betray them at some point.
Right. Well, he does the same thing to Thor, right? That's not just Thanos. He does the same thing in Thor 2.
Yep.
And Thor 3.
The Krees, Titans, and Vampires thing, as we said. The Yellow Brick Road. As Loki and Sylvie are marched to meet the Timekeepers, they're taken down a path glowing with yellow golden lights mirroring the famous Yellow Golden Brick Road. Sam Wilson's Big Three theory.
Right. Go you.
They're calling the stab in the back Coulson's Revenge.
Okay.
That's pretty neat. Seeing Avengers Tower in the background of the decimated New York where they're at, and the Four Lokis.
All right.
Four Loki sounds like a weird drink.
It does. It's the sequel to Four Locos.
I'm in on it. I'm excited to see where to go now. Like that was a very it definitely was a pickup episode.
It was. It's yeah. And I think my feelings that I said earlier about I'm not going to be invested in caring about the character of Loki as good as I think Tom Hiddleston is. That's why the last two were rough because they were just all character development for Loki, which I was like, the dude died 2 years ago. It's fine. It's going to be like my tough buy-in with Black Widow, where I'm going to watch a movie about, okay, well, she died 2 years ago.
Yeah, the timing of that sucks. And the thing, and it's with Black Widow. Let me switch my thing off here so people know we're done here with that. I have that poster in my kitchen now.
Good.
Yep. The Black Widow thing is one of the small things that they had to adjust for Phase 4. They said was the Easter egg that you're going to get in Black Widow should have been introduced there first, but we got in Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, so Val, yeah.
It's the Val thing. So it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus is going to show up in Black Widow. Spoiler alert. Whereas she was supposed to show up there first, then show up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you were supposed to be like, oh, this is cool. Right. You're going to be like, oh, there she is.
Right. Maybe it'll still be like, oh, this is cool.
You know what? I'm excited. I
mean, look, I just want to see the end credits for Black Widow is all I really care about.
Yeah, I'm curious what they're gonna do with that.
And see if it's gonna be a Shang-Chi tie-in, or if it's gonna be a Eternals tie-in, or if it's gonna be a Spider-Man tie-in.
What are you betting on? What are you betting on?
I bet Eternals.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be Shang-Chi. I don't know.
I think it's gonna tease Spider-Man. I'm gonna go all the way out there.
All right.
Who, by the way, is getting a new costume in this movie that was teased with Funko Pops and action figures?
Yeah, way to go! Way to go, toys again.
Yeah, I'm not even going to mention it. If you want to see it, go look for yourself. That's why I didn't pull the picture up this time. That's all I got.
All right. And so you can find me as always at jagkidmusic.com. You can see me performing this week at the Alley in Pottstown. I'll be there Friday night from 7 to 10 with some kind of great food truck. They always have them, sponsored by Kiki Vodka. So stop out to that. You can find us, as always, at Geek Spot News on the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the YouTube, Twitch, anywhere you get your streaming news. You can also join our group on Facebook. You found the Geek Spot. If you'd like to hit that up, you can find that on our page. And that about sums it up for us. We will catch you guys again next Monday night at 7 p.m. And thank you for finding the Geek Spot.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.